Hello everyone, this is Nitpicking Nerd and this is my review of the second episode of Very Short Tracks called Holiday Party, which is apparently taking place during season 1 of Strange New Worlds, since Hammer is still alive and Uhura is on the ship already, and they're celebrating First Contact Day, and Spock was given the task of entertaining the crew, and so he's trying to be funny, but it's not funny, and that makes it even funnier to us, the audience. And I do think this short track is much funnier than the previous one. Some of these jokes actually work, in my opinion, but if we take it literally as if it actually happened in the show, then that will make Spock into an idiot. Because the kind of jokes he tells, showing a transporter accident when an ensign accidentally lost his legs and then his guts are spilling out, and Spock says that's funny. This kind of reminds me of a joke in the Orville when Isaac pulled a prank on someone by cutting off his leg, and so that was actually funny because he's a robot. Cutting off someone's organ may not seem to be that terrifying as to a human, because for robots it's a simple matter to remove a leg and put it back. And so the joke that Spock is apparently showing someone apparently losing half his body and probably dying from it, and he shows it to the crew because he thinks it's a funny blooper, that's a little bit illogical for a Vulcan. Next, he shows the audience how the Pring dumps him, and he's crying about it and thinks it's funny to show the audience. Well, there are few problems with this scene. First of all, it never happened in season 1 because they were still together in season 2. Also, the Pring says that she doesn't love him, which makes no sense for a Vulcan to say that, and also Spock crying about it and showing it to the entire crew is also illogical because you know how private Vulcans are, at least in the original series. No one even knew that he's engaged to a woman or that he has a brother or a sister or whatever, so he was always very secretive about his private life. So for him to stand in front of the crew and show them all these details is extremely out of character compared to the Spock in TOS. Next, it shows a scene apparently taking place during the first episode or the second episode of Star Trek Discovery, during the battle with the Klingons, showing that giant Klingon ship ramming into a ship and destroying it. And Saru, for some reason, is wearing the uniform he had 1,000 years in the future, and yet he's wearing it in the 23rd century, so maybe it's a deliberate mistake to poke fun at the mistakes of the old animated show. And also he says, let's have a moment of silence for those thousands of people who died on the ship. But this is taking place during the battle, so is that really the best place to mourn and to stop everything and let's take a minute of silence while the Klingons are still attacking us? So that also makes no sense. And also, is that Michael Burnham in the background, because she seems kind of different, a little bit colorless, and maybe that's another poke at the animated show, which often mixed up colors and showed them incorrectly, or maybe it's a reference to how Robert April changed these colors between the animated show and Strange New Worlds. And so if it's a deliberate homage to that, if it's a deliberate mistake like that, then it is kind of funny in my opinion. So Spock shows all the victims of that ship and he says, if little misfortunes are funny, then huge misfortunes should be even funnier. And then no one laughs and everyone tells him it's inappropriate. And then he shows something smaller, which is a crew member sliding on the floor because someone just wiped it. Which is another kind of mistake, because didn't we see that there are cleaning robots doing this kind of job? We saw it a few times in Discovery, even back when they were in the 23rd century. They had all those little cleaning droids flying around, and so why is a crew member manually doing it in this way is kind of strange. And then that other crew member hits his genitals from that stick and then farts at the face of the other one. And then everyone do laugh about it. Which is also kind of strange, because if that's a crew member on this same ship, wouldn't he find it offensive? What if he's in the same room? Wouldn't he find it embarrassing? And so they're basically laughing at him. And so it doesn't really fit the spirit of Star Trek, I would say. And then when Spock sees that it is actually funny to the crew, then he takes the same broomstick and chases Hammer with it, trying to do a live blooper for the audience, which I did find kind of funny. So overall, I did kind of enjoy this short track. It's much funnier than the previous one. If it was canonical, then I would say it makes no sense because of all these mistakes, all this out of character behavior and all of that. But since it's all a parody from the get-go, then I guess it's okay. And I think those mistakes with the colors and the uniform and all of that were probably deliberate. So this one was actually entertaining to me, even though it has some of the same annoying problems I have with Strange New Worlds, especially Spock being so out of character, not even similar to the way he's supposed to be, the way he was in the original show. And some people try to excuse it by saying, oh, it's because it's a prequel, he did not yet become that Spock that we saw in the original show, but I'm betting you even when they reach the time of the original show, it will still be like that. And eventually they probably will do that. Eventually they'll basically reboot TOS and do a new version of it, and it will not be the same as the old show, so it's just a matter of time. So at least this episode was kind of entertaining, so it's better than nothing, I would say, but still a little bit annoying. So that's my review. Let me know what you think, and we can discuss all of this in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.